It's maintenance week again, and Dave and his team are out in force out on the golf course. So obviously plan for the week and over the next few days is pro coring the greens, so coring the greens, top dressing, seeding, but we're also going to be looking at surrounds, approaches and tees. So there's plenty to go through on this video, and I can show you each step as they move through. So stage one of the process is, this is the week before greens maintenance week, and Adam is out on the greens mower, the new greens mower, verticutting. So the units that I showed you in my last video, these will be cutting into the green and obviously taking the thatch out the surface. So I'll show you what that leaves in a second. So Adam's leading the way this morning, the rest of the team are on their way up from the 8th. So basically what happens is Adam will, like I say, verticut, so that leaves this in the surface of the green. So that is taking away the thatch, that's taking away any horizontal growth on the surface of the green. Like I just showed you, those blades, they're cutting into the green and taking that thatch away. Then you've got the rest of the team who will be following behind. So I'll show you in a second what these guys are up to. So to give you an idea of what's been coming out the greens, we've got this. So this is basically the thatch, that horizontal growth. So this has come out of about 3 or 4 of the greens so far. So plenty of material coming out. And like I say, this just helps to kind of speed up the greens, level out that playing surface, make sure the grass is standing up, so that Lee on the greens mower can then follow behind and have a tidy up. So ultimately what he's now doing now will make the grass stand up on end. He will just be cutting the top of that grass, trying to get a nice smooth surface. And this is all the first stage of this process. Jant's over there on the leaf blower, Ad on the verticutter, Will running around the material, and then Lee on the greens mower. And I'm sure you guys probably won't even notice that this has happened. All you'll notice that the greens will be a little bit quicker this afternoon and probably a little bit smoother. So the second major phase of greens maintenance, we've got the whole team out on the 13th, and they are working with Dave, Pro Core. So the Pro Core is taking cores out of the green. This is our new machine, so it's a lot more mobile. We can get around the golf course a lot easier. And obviously this then takes out these plugs, so these little holes. It's obviously taking out any thatch and organic matter out of the green. This obviously, as always, allows for aeration, kind of getting nutrients down deep into the ground. I'll just take you in quickly to get a better idea of what the machine's doing. And then it leaves the trail for the team to collect. So all working together to get it done. Lee's got the easy job in the gator. Well, we've got Will, Ryan, obviously Mr. Brewington, member, thank you very much for helping out. And Adam clearing up. And then we've got Jansen and Ben. So basically Ben will come behind. He's got the greens mower just to tidy up the rest of the process. So as these guys work through, I'll take you through the different stages. But guys are moving at a decent pace. Just to give you a bit of an idea, they've been on this green now for probably 5 minutes, and I think this is Dave's 4th or 5th run, and they're getting quite a large section of this green done pretty quick. Obviously the team started on the practice greens by the clubhouse on Friday. They used that just to get used to the new machines and just to get everything set up, and they're moving through it pretty quick, and that green's rolling all right so far, so we're hopeful for a decent recovery. Give you an idea of what's coming out of these greens. So we've got some decent plugs there, and these will be used across the golf course to repair some of the scarring. Obviously because it's come out of the green, these are sand based, so they'll be draining as well, so we can use these on some of the drain lines, and just to help kind of repair worn areas and areas of the golf course that need dressing out. So to give you an idea, these are 65mm deep at 60% 60mm spacing. and they're 12mm tines. So effectively, David's just told me that we are taking away 3% of the surface of this screen. So some pretty chunky cores, but then we'll be filling them up later, obviously with top dressing, seeding, and I'll show you those processes. So I think the most impressive part of this whole process is that how Dave has got the boys working as a team. So, I mean, they are going to get this green done in probably 20 minutes. And they're all working together under Dave's leadership. I just wanted to kind of show us a bit of demonstration of what's happening at the club at the moment and how exciting the future is. As the rest of the team move on to the 40, Will's left behind on the greens mower, just having a little tidy up. So he'll just go over a few times, obviously just clean up the surface and get it ready for seeding and top dressing. So in those cutting units there is cutting units and there's also cutting the brushes as well. So there'll be front and back brushes to keep it nice and tidy. So following Will out of the greens mower, we've got Adam in the tractor with the seeder, the aero seeder. So this is the dimple seeder, so you can see the spikes in the back going round, and then in the container at the top is seed. So we're overseeding with vent, that then drops down, drops into the spike, and then we've obviously got the brushes at the back, just helping to brush it into the little holes. So if I give you a little bit of a close-up down here, you've got the bigger holes, which are obviously the cores, and then you've got the little holes, which is being made by the seeder. We'll then go over this green a few times. This is only kind of one pass so far. We'll go over this green a few times, and then the top dresser will be out and we'll be brushing all that in. So the idea is kind of just removing some of the grass species that we don't want in the surface, removing any of that thatch, obviously opening up the root structure and the surface to allow the grass to grow, get some air in, get some nutrients in, and obviously put the species of seed, so that bent seed that we're trying to overseed, and we have been for the last few maintenance, and try and make a slightly better playing surface. So following Adam on the seeder, we've got Will on the new top dresser. So new bit of kit, just slightly bigger, slightly kind of newer, bit more technology to it. So Will is currently top dressing with Leighton Buzzard. So you guys would have seen this from the last green maintenance. This is something that Dave's changed. It's a slightly different structure, slightly different density of sand, and it's a little bit thicker, a little bit coarser, but it just doesn't bind together so much. So it allows the soil kind of remain free draining, and obviously again help the grass to grow and those roots to go between the sand granules. So obviously the guys are collecting these cores. Like I said earlier, they're a great core, and we can be using these to dress out some of these drain lines on the golf course and kind of on walk-off areas and things like this. So obviously what's coming out is still got quite a high sand content. It's kind of quite free draining. So you will see it out on the golf course, these piles, and over the next week or so, once the guys have finished the maintenance on greens and surrounds and tees and things like that, because they're going to be doing the same process on the tees, you'll start to see these cores dressing out, and hopefully once we get some rain, get some water on it, that grass will start growing and making the place a little bit tidier. Once Will's finished out on the top dresser, then got Jance out on the new gator, so another new bit of kit for you guys to see, with the drag mat. Just obviously brushing all that in, trying to make sure that it's all dragged in, filling all these little holes, so any holes that are left, there's a few there, just any holes that are left, just drag it back in. Obviously the guys will then check, and if we need to top dress it again, we probably will. I think it's likely that we'll let this water in overnight, and then we'll probably top dress again, another light dusting, just to make sure that all those holes are filled, because remember we've got the slits from last week where we've been doing the verticutting. You've got the cores that they actually took out, and then all the little seed dimples. So there's lots of little holes, little impurities in the surface, and this sand obviously just helps to smooth that out as well. So that's the majority of the greens work completed. There's a bit more top dressing to do, and the guys will probably be done by close of business Wednesday. But if I spin you around, you can have a little look. The playing surface is actually pretty decent. It's recovering pretty well already. This is obviously the practice greens. So the work was done on these on Friday when the guys were just setting up all the new machinery. So the conditions of the course and conditions on playability of the green should be pretty good by the weekend. I will get another video out to you guys so you can see kind of all the additional and perimeter work that the guys will be doing over the next few days, next week, looking at the surrounds, tee boxes, things like that. Enjoy, guys.